So, you want to build a nuke, eh? Well, for that, you'll need some uranium. Uranium is a radioactive element. It has many uses, including curing cancer, generating power, and making people immediately stop fucking existing. Anyway, once you've mined some uranium, you'll need to enrich it. Why? Because isotopes. If you vary the neutrons in an element, you get different cosplay versions of that element. And the version we want here is uranium-235 because it's good in bombs and shit. So it's off to the centrifuges for some whizzy fun time, and soon you'll have shiny apocalypse cookies before you can say nuclear holocaust. And if you're still serious about building this thing, we'll need to talk about fission and fusion. Thanks to this smoking hot piece of physicist booty, we now know you can make a little bit of mass into a lot of energy. And one way of doing that is via fission. Fission is when you give big atomic nuclei a bonk and convert them into smaller nuclei, and you get loads of energy from that. It's how nuclear reactors work, and also bombs. Fusion is the reverse of that basically, where nuclei combine. It's how the sun works, and also bombs. In a fission bomb, the goal is to get the uranium to release neutrons. One can do this via explosives, or claiming to have engaged in sexual intercourse with the uranium's mother. These neutrons will hit the unstable nuclei of the rest of the uranium, and at that point, well, whatever argument it was that led you to detonate this thing, let's just say you won that one. But if you're really pissed off, then you'll need a fusion bomb. This is a double whammy. The first stage is fission, then switches to fusion, creating essentially a star on Earth. Anyway, that's your nuke built, so it's off to the races, baby. Well, we'll need somewhere quiet to test it out. How's about somewhere near the Jornado del Muerto desert in New Mexico? Lovely little spot for a picnic. Make sure to bring some jam, those little triangular sandwiches, and a crippling certainty that thanks to you, humankind will forevermore be held hostage by itself. The first ever nuclear device is detonated on July 16th, 1945, codename Trinity. The device explodes with the equivalent power of 22,000 tons of TNT. Later, Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb, will say, "I remember the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, 'Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.'" Just under a month later, the B-29 Enola Gay will drop the fission bomb Little Boy over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. It will explode with the power of 15,000 tons of TNT. Above will preside a mushroom cloud 60,000 feet high. Below, 70,000 people are immediately incinerated and mutilated by a shockwave travelling faster than the speed of sound. Thousands of people who are not killed in the initial blast will be exposed to ionizing radiation, suffering the effects for decades to come: hemorrhaging, cancer, and genetic mutations. 3 days later, a second bomb called Fat Man will be dropped on the seaport of Nagasaki. At least 60,000 people will be killed. Japan will surrender 3 weeks later, and the governments of the world will almost unanimously agree that this must never happen again. Not intentionally, not by accident, not by ignorance.